Salute to OG Elliott Wilson. I seen a couple people tag me on this, and I don't know. I want to throw it to y'all. I'm gonna give some of my opinions clearly. So the question, or I think what he said, which is I don't know. Let me see if I can find the post. I think this is for this year only. For this year only. My man Elliott Wilson. He's talking about 2021. We're only 6 months into the year. He says the 2021 Rap Media Mt Rushmore is, and he questioned it. He says Charlamagne the God, Joe Budden, DJ Akademiks, and who? First and foremost, I want to salute to Elliott Wilson. He's been a really dope dude to me. He's one of the only people who I consider OG, people who have been in multiple different eras of this media shit that doesn't come across with this air of snobbiness like, oh, hey, I did these things that you could have never done because you were never born or you were never in this shit when I was in it, so I'm going to just shit on you this whole time. He's embraced change. He's encouraged. He's offered to help. He's someone who is supportive and trying to be understanding. That's a dude, I'm going to be honest with you, one of the only dudes who I've seen been in this shit for a long time that gives respect to people after him. And I want to just clap it up for him. So for 2021, first of all, even though I'm on the list, I'm going to ask if y'all agree with the three choices so far. Charlamagne the God. Agree? I'll give my opinion on it. Charlamagne the God. I'm gonna be honest with you, but again, I'm trying to think just year by year, right? I feel like Charlamagne, Joe, myself, we've all been in like clearly like some media headlines or some relevant to the culture story. I think the media Mount Rushmore gotta still be Charlamagne gotta be there. You know why? He's leading the shit still. Charlamagne, to me, has exemplified what it means to basically not only dominate what rap and cultural media is, but show the next steps of crossing over. There was moments years ago I used to watch him and I'm like, yo, he's dominating this rap media shit. But is this the peak? Then you get like a Wendy Williams job and just check out? Or could you kind of still do this and then explore other ways? Ever since then, I've seen him. He sent me a dope ass article recently, low key. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. And by the way, that's another thing I always give him credit for. Like, ask him. I've never asked him for anything in life. I've always asked him like, yo, just be there to give me advice and be honest with me. And through our relationship ups and downs, he always like, yo, hey, listen, he'll send stuff to me or show me stuff or just talk to me about stuff just that I could understand his perspective, and his perspective is obviously coming with a lot of experience. Okay? Where is it? No, it's Adweek. Let me see. They did an article on him. I like this article, okay. God damn, what type of Photoshop is this? Yo, Charlamagne, what's up? Yo, Charlamagne's skin is like this now? Holy. I haven't seen my nigga since the fucking, I haven't seen my nigga since the goddamn quarantine. My boy light. Is that the veneers? Holy. Yo, Charlamagne, man. You know what, man? I'm about to start. Y'all about to get in the gym and get like a little dermatologist and everything, man. Cause this nigga Charlamagne be looking, he be glowing now. That nigga be looking good. Remember when niggas used to be cracking them jokes? Like, that nigga look like a raccoon. He look like this. Bald head ass. Yo, this nigga look like, this is what money looks like, chat. By the way, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's my next evolution. Because, like, yeah, I got money. Like, I got Lambos, all that shit. But, like, you know when a nigga getting a different type of money. This is that white people smile. This smile says 8 figures and up. If we're not talking 8 figures, don't call me. Look at this goddamn nigga smile right here, man. This is good. He looks great. I'm trying to give him credit. Anyway, what the fuck? This article is exclusive for whatever. I read this before. Anyway, just to give some of this was an article. It says how Charlamagne the God plans to become America's next top multimedia mogul. And this is the reason why I'm giving him, like, of course he got to be on the Mount Rushmore every single year, probably since 2013 or like whenever the Breakfast Club started. You know why? Especially now, while he might not be in every headline or he's not having moments where he's fucking embarrassing people, whatever, like you're used to. For people like me, I watch this guy flip the game differently. You know, like, one of the dopest things Charlamagne has shown me, and I want to mention someone else, but I don't want because I know they're going to take it wrong. Think about the greats. Name some of the great media personalities before Charlamagne. Just name them. Just name them right now. Name whoever you want to name. Oh, Wendy's on the all-time. When it comes to black media, she's on the all-time Mount Rushmore. That's a fact. But we're not talking about all-time right now because, shit, if we go in all-time, it's a lot of shit. Shit, Sway's probably on the all-time, too. Yeah, Sway, Wendy. That's all-time. That's all-time. We're not talking about all-time. Anyway, I just to kind of like complete my thought. I remember watching this media thing because, you know, I've always kind of wanted to crack the door and get into it. I remember watching some of like the really good and dope personalities in media or just rap media, whatever you want to call it. There was like the ceiling, like there was the Howard Stern's, like I remember Howard Stern got like hundreds of millions, he signed for like 100 million or some crazy amount of number with Sirius XM. But when it came to like black broadcasters and media personalities, it felt like as long as you were getting millions, you're good, right? Like, okay, you got a couple million. The reason why I believe this article, by the way, Charlamagne is probably going to be the first rap, or I hate just saying rap because it's bigger than that. First black media mogul to make $100 million. And that's dope because he's writing the blueprint for niggas like me. And even though to get where I am, I've always looked at his blueprint and I've always realized sometimes like his blueprint was radio. By the time I kind of got my legs under me, radio was like, that was like almost an antiquated platform. So it doesn't mean like you have to follow that, but it is cracking open these doors. He got a podcast network where he's 50-50 partners with iHeart Media. You know, he as well has his own podcast network. He has a book publishing company. Yo, he's putting out people's books. He puts out books himself. He's a New York Times bestseller. He has a new show that's coming on Premiere TV, which is like he's Comedy Central. He's gonna have a late night show. This nigga's killing on every front. And I see something, I'm like, oh, he fell off years ago. This is where I hope as y'all grow with me, y'all understand. Because, of course, I want to be on Twitch forever. And I'm going to be cracking jokes and we're going to have fun. But y'all niggas better not switch on me if I sign some big-ass deal or I'm doing some other shit where I'm like putting out books and I'm like, this is some dope ass shit. You hurt yourself by just trying to do the same. Imagine if I was doing the Warren Chirac till now. No, this nigga only does Warren Chirac. Get him out. Bro, I would be out of here. That's what I'm trying to say. Growth is important. So when I see Charlemagne, when I think about the Mount Rushmore, as we were talking about Elliott Wilson's list, he got to be on it because I think he is defining where the ceiling is for black media personalities or hip-hop media personalities with his moves. He owns pretty much probably the most successful black-owned podcast network. Still one of the best rated personalities. Putting out books. He's in a different league. Okay. Some of y'all will be like, damn, God, get off his dick. I know some of y'all will be like, get off his dick. Some of y'all chose to be like, but what about Kwame Brown? Mama's cooking. I don't know nothing about that. Anyway, continuing on. Joseph Budden, a compadre of mine. And I like this. I like this like little thing. Elliott Wilson, salute to you. Because I like Charlemagne. I like Joe. It's amazing. Well, I like them. I don't know if they like each other. Whatever. I think Joe got to be on it. I do believe single-handedly Joe might be, if not the most talented, maybe the second, at worst the third personality in terms of captivating an audience. And that's very important to say. There's a lot of niggas who talk, like sometimes they'll be talking about me, yo, how could y'all have academics with, yo, he don't be talking about certain type. Listen, nigga, I don't give a fuck what you talk about. Learn to captivate an audience. That's the biggest thing. Again, it's like motherfuckers like, oh, it's like some of the boxers like now. They're probably like, oh, yo, Logan Paul made $20 million. He never want to fight. Learn business. The business of boxing, or boxing period, isn't just being really good. If you can't promote the fight, you're never going to earn the money that the fight should get. Business usually has to meet skill set. That's one of the things LeBron James is really good at. LeBron James is probably the best businessman combined with the best athlete. He's leveraged his power, his influence over the culture and everything else, and he's doing mad other shit. The homies he grew up with, he put them in positions that no one could ever think of. That's dope. By the way, low-key Katie kind of is too. I see Katie moving. Good job, Katie. Now, back to Budden. Budden has to be on it. He's, again, I think he's amazing at captivating the audience. And I seen recently, like, I wasn't speaking against Joe. I love Joe. I was disappointed. I still am. I'm disappointed in how that whole situation played out with Joe because, truth be told, I've watched Joe from him being on Everyday Struggle, from him doing his podcast, doing pull-up, all these other things. Joe has been so amazing with, I don't know if he meant to be, but either create narratives, dealing with the people, getting people to believe in him, believe in his mission, believe in things that has made him continually grow, that this was the first time in my experience I've seen Joe look not the same. However, everything comes back around. And my criticism of him is in the moment. Because truth be told, in 3 months, everybody gonna love Joe again. Right? In 6 months, everybody gonna love that nigga again. Right? But I do believe in a moment that he was tested, it didn't fall too well on him. Right? So again, Joe, I think you throw him anywhere. He's that engaging. He's that magnetic as a person. He's going to get an audience. Like, I'm gonna tell you how, and I could go back to everyday struggle type of days. In my opinion, I felt I brought about 70% of the audience to everyday struggle. I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt from the 70% of those people I brought, I think 40 to 45% people left with Joe when Joe left. They loved Joe. They hated him at first. And then they grew to love him and they left with him. Now, they probably still fuck with me, still, but like, they fell in love with who Joe Budden was. Because that was always an enigma too with me. Like, a lot of the audience who I was super serving with, they were younger, and then there were some older people who would fuck with me, but they were like, yo, come on, man, we want you to age the content. The people, like, a lot of my audience was like, yo, do a podcast. So I'm like, nah, not everybody wants me to do a podcast. When they found Joe, it was like, oh, shit. We don't really like this thing, but yo, he kind of giving it up kind of the same way. Fuck, we gonna fuck with him. They love Joe. And I always, that's credit to Joe. That's why you collaborate. Working with Joe, I think, helped me too. So it's not one of those things I just felt like so it's great. So I always think he's going to be good, and I think that's why he's always going to be on this list, right? At least for now. And also, lastly, while I disagree wholeheartedly with how Joe deals with business, how he dealt with business with Complex, he had points. The nigga is not crazy. The way he goes about it in a corporate world is essentially like jumping. It's essentially like being on the bridge and just pouring gasoline as you walk. And before you get over the bridge, you flick your lighter and burn it while you're still on the bridge. I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? And then you start running when you see the catch the fire. I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? So I've always disagreed with that, but I've also acknowledged that he's the only nigga who could do that. So I'm gonna give that. Myself. It is hard to be critical of myself. It's hard to be critical of myself. But I am, I think, one of my biggest critics. Me being on this particular list, I think, is an acknowledgement of everything I've worked for, but also the acknowledgement of the times. I've combined, and my strategy to, like, remember I was looking up the Charmants. I'm like, yo, how the fuck am I gonna get on like a Breakfast Club type show? They're not giving out, like, nigga, they want you to go fucking intern and go like work some lower radio stations in Idaho and make it out. And I'm like, I know I'm gonna do it. I don't need them to give me an opportunity. I don't need them to put me on some small ass radio station. I'm gonna build a platform and also have a voice. I built the Akademiks brand as a platform, and I was the voice of it. And I think in the last like couple of years, it's kind of evident that we have a very strong hold, and I credit all to y'all. It's the chat niggas, And I know, like, I look at the chat niggas as really a core group of people, but it's like, it's people who are like-minded to us. People who realize that whether you're thinking about opinions, getting information, rap news, things you care about, not everyone is caring about that older demographic. And I only really think I represent the newer demographic. I think that helps a lot. So humbly and without doing the soldier boy, I thank people like Elliott Wilson for recognizing me, because it's not really only recognizing me, it's recognizing new media. I watched the BET Awards nominate. They do nominations every year for best media company or best media, whatever. And every year they look past. Every day I look through my email. Hot new hip hop, this and third. They all they're using my articles or not articles, but like things that come from my page or my YouTube, my Twitch, this and third. And yeah, it's relevant. It's relevant to rap news. BET act like we don't exist. It's like, who give a fuck about these niggas, right? So it's not just me though, and that's why I always tell the newer people who sometimes they feel like they're fighting against me. It's like it's kind of like in a Kanye in a way, and I hope I'm not trying to compare myself to him. I'm just saying I'm kicking down this door that like hopefully in 5 years, shit, it might just be, it might not be Charlemagne, might not be Joe Budden, might not be me on this list in 5 years. For that year Mount Rushmore, it might be just three dope YouTube channels. Who knows? Might be DJ Ghost, Blackie Speaks, Hassan Campbell. Might be, I don't know who else be doing their thing. I'll give everybody credit. Whoever. So I hope people understand that part of it. But I said all that to say, if we were gonna add a fourth, who would it be? Now I have about 3 candidates, and I want to discuss it with y'all. And I'm spending way too much time on this topic, but I love topics like this. 4 candidates actually. Gilly, slew to $1 million worth of game, right? I think they're doing a great job of connecting the dots and connecting generations. Great job establishing conversation pieces. They do a lot of interviews. I'm gonna be honest with you, with all due respect to the Breakfast Club, and I love the Breakfast Club, and I love Charlamagne, I love DJ Envy and Angela Yee. I think some of the best rap interviews with the biggest moments have came from $1 million worth of game. They do a lot of interviews, and it's connected. So I'm gonna say Gilly, and maybe I should just link both of them, Gilly and Wallow, I guess. But okay, this other than them, secondly is I gotta do Nori and Sluice of DJ FN. Nori. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to say Nori, though. Because Nori is holding it down for, like, even though you could be like, oh, well, Joe and Charlamagne, they're from a different era. Nori's media existence and Drink Champ's media existence is the exact reason why Versus could be a success. Because we have so many fond moments from artists we love, from times of music we love, that if historically we followed how music was really covered, when you get old, you just disappear. You go do some like get back together tour, or like, oh, this was, hey, the 2000s tour, whatever you want to call it. But you don't really have a voice afterwards to tell those untold stories. And hip hop, we're getting at a point where a lot of these stories, they're getting up there in age. Like, shit, people want to know how Cam really felt about like some of the stuff with Jay-Z back in the Rockefeller days when Dame made him president. And people want to figure out how, like, how stuff came together with, Death Row, and obviously Snoop Dogg dealing with Dr. Dre and Tupac's existence and shit, even Suge Knight around those times. People want to know about some of these legendary things. And I do believe that Drink Champs, I like how they position their platform to say, you got to be a legend to be on here. And I think that's dope. I really like that. Okay. So what did I say? Gilly and then Nori. And that's in no order, by the way. I love Nori. The next 2 people y'all are not going to like. I don't think I don't like him. Wait, who's the next 2? Well, I got one for sure. I'm going to be honest. Vlad TV, man. Vlad TV got to be on that shit. I think Vlad's interviews this year has given a lot of viral moments, pushed a lot of things, whether good or bad, caused a lot of controversial, things to happen in just its like fallout. Vlad, numbers wise, also is number 1 in the game right now. I always keep it 100. There was a couple of years ago, I remember I was beating Vlad's ass. But this year, I think last year too, Vlad beating everybody's ass. I remember there was a year I was beating Breakfast Club. I'm just talking about YouTube. This is only YouTube. Remember just YouTube. I was beating Breakfast Club, and I was killing Hot 97. In the last 2 years, man, Vlad is giving everybody. And by the way, I got to give him credit for that because him potentially being on this year's Media Mt Rushmore is because of years of work. Like, he's had a catalog of interviews and content before I got in the game. That nigga been putting in work. And he one of them people who don't care if people like him. He don't care what people say about him. He don't necessarily feel he got to respond. Like, I always told him, I'm like, yo, when a nigga mentions my name, I get on Twitch and I violate him. And he always just say, I just let it go. But Vlad is probably a strong competitor for 4. Y'all ain't gonna like him though. Y'all ain't gonna like him. Y'all ain't gonna like him. Is there another one? Let me see. Am I missing anyone? Somebody said the Shade Room. Actually, I'm going with the Shade Room. No. Shade Room. Honorable mention: Shade Room, Say Cheese, No Jumper. I want to be fair. I'm always fair. Yo, Grant. You all bro. My nigga Grant, man. I want to be fair. The reason I'm gonna say the Shade Room is that, yo, rappers usually only back in the day. I'm saying back in the day like this is some old ass shit, right? Rappers used to be like, yo, we just want act to cover us. Nowadays, they get in relationships for Shade Room to cover them too. I've seen rappers actually say like, yo, I'm about to. Yo, you think Shade Room will cover me if I start fucking with her? Yeah. Somebody said me to take out. I don't know. Anyway, I think I'd probably throw Nori on that, if you ask me. Anyway, all right, we're moving on. I don't know why I took so long. I took so long on that. Did y'all see this? Real quick thoughts on this. Because I thought P squashed this fucking issue. But let's scroll down. By the way, let's read a couple of what people said about Kanye. Like his top songs. So wait, we didn't answer that. The top 5 songs.